going on, guys? Nando here. One more video. So, the long-awaited iPhone X review. I apologize again that it's taken me this long to do this final review on the iPhone X. Like always, I'm going to talk to you guys about things I like, things I dislike, whether I think you should get it, and who this phone is for. Matter of fact, I'm going to start off by talking about who this phone is for. If you are an iOS user, if you are someone that has to have the latest and greatest iPhone, then obviously you need to get the iPhone X because there is no better iPhone out right now. If you're torn between the iPhone X and the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus, I really think that you need to get the iPhone X. It's hard to justify getting the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus when the iPhone X is out simply because of what Apple has thrown at the iPhone X. What I mean is the form factor, what I mean is the design, and what I mean is some updated technology, more importantly something by the names of Face ID, which I am a believer of, which I love, and I can't wait for Apple to introduce to their iPad lines, to their MacBook Pro lines. I think Face ID is really the truth. I think that Face ID is the future, and I think that for first-gen Face ID, Apple knocked it out of the park. It is pretty fast. It's not as fast as other face unlocking software out there. For example, OnePlus 5T, they have super fast face unlock. But when it comes to reliability and when it comes to actual accuracy, both in light and in low light, or in my case, man, this thing is so freaking, look at, oh God, it's so good. When I use this phone in bed, and when I use this phone at night, when I use this phone out in the dark, this phone is so freaking fantastic at unlocking itself. I was just doing it right there. It just works every time. The few times that it hasn't worked, I mean, I could probably count in my hand those few times. I honestly can't even tell you why it didn't work. I can't say it's because it was really dark outside. I can't tell you if it's because I went from a massive beard to a small beard. Face ID is fantastic. It is something I love about this phone, and it truly is the future of unlocking this phone. Whether or not Apple should have released or removed, I should say, Touch ID in the home button, that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother story. I think that Apple needed to do something to show not only its current users, but potential new users that they were willing to push the boundaries, literally push the bezels. And I think that with removing Touch ID, bringing in Face ID, I think Apple did that. You can't make everybody happy. Matter of fact, let me know in the comment section below whether or not you think that Face ID is ready for mainstream, whether you wish Apple had kept Touch ID in the home button. I honestly, I'm so happy that they got rid of the home button. I think that it was so antiquated. If anything, maybe move it to the back. Maybe a future iteration iPhone X will do that. I don't know. So Face ID, massive plus, 2 thumbs up. Can't recommend it enough. Now, things I dislike about the iPhone X. I think that Apple and the way they have gone about its gestures to incorporate these smaller bezels, I think they could have done that better. I'm not a huge fan of the swipe up from the right for your control center. I'm not a huge fan of swipe from the left to get to your notification drawer. I think that what they've done with the control center, I think that that layout could have been the same. In my opinion, I think it would have looked so much more cohesive, and it would have looked so much nicer if Apple would have kept that quickness of control center and implemented into notification drawer. I don't like that it's 2 different things. I don't like that they feel 2 different speeds. I don't like that one feels faster, one feels slower. I don't like that. Another thing I think that Apple could have done better with the iPhone X is brought much better sound quality. I think that the front-facing speaker at the top here, and then the bottom-facing speaker at the bottom right-hand corner could have been much better. In regards to the camera, I think that across the board that is fantastic. I think that's got to be a massive plus. The fact that this iPhone shoots 4K 60 frames per second is mind-boggling. I mean, the camera that I'm using right now only shoots 30K or 30 frames per second 4K. Most cameras out right now still only shoot 1080p 60 frames per second, and then in the palm of your hand you've got a phone that can shoot 4K 60 frames per second. That's ridiculous. I think that instills the iPhone X shoots great pictures. I don't think it's the best. I think that the Google Pixel 2 owns that crown, but in terms of actual video, for all my videographers out there, you can't beat what the iPhone X brings to the table. Another thing, again, I love about this phone is just simply the form factor. I love that it fits in my hand. I love the size of this phone. I absolutely love it. I'm excited about what Apple might be bringing in the future with other iPhone X, maybe the Plus, maybe a smaller version. I don't know, but I hope that they keep this form factor going. I hope they improve upon it. I think there are things about the software experience of the iPhone X that I love. For example, I don't know about you guys, but to me, the whole swipe home from the bottom, I think that is such an Android thing, and I love it. It is so quick. It feels much quicker than touching the home button to me. I love that. So all in all, the software experience on the iPhone X isn't all that bad. There's small little things, like I said, that I dislike, like pulling up from the right-hand side to access this notification, the control panel, or from the left-hand side to bring down the notification shade or panel, whatever you want to call it. I don't care for that. However, I do care for things such as swipe up from the bottom to get home, swipe up and hold to access your multitasking panel. What I don't like about that, however, is when you press and hold up, that you can't actually like swipe away unless you press and hold to engage on that page. I wish that once you got to it that you could swipe up, but you can't. You have to still engage, press and hold, and then close from the top. I think it's from the left-hand side. Yep, it is. You'll see these little red minuses, or you can swipe up to erase. So battery life on the iPhone X has been phenomenal. Battery life across iPhones in general are pretty good. I think that Apple continues to have the best standby time on any device across the board. That is the same between the 8, the 8 Plus, and the iPhone X. I think the iPhone X battery life is better than the iPhone 8 Plus in my opinion. I did use the 8 Plus for about a month, but I'm really digging the battery life on the iPhone X, both standby and on-screen time usage. Front-facing camera on the phone is fantastic. I love the whole portrait mode gimmick thing. You can call it gimmick or whatever. I like it. I still think that the way Google uses it on the Pixel 2 and 2 XL is much quicker and a little more efficient. However, you don't get this kind of detailed control over those kind of photos like you do with the iPhone X. So if you're looking for just the blurred effect, then iPhone X maybe not for you, because it takes a little longer to get that perfect lighting or perfect distance. Google Pixel 2 and 2 XL does a much better job of just shooting that photo, even the Note 8 in most cases. But if you've got the perfect lighting, if you've got that good distance, I think that the iPhone X does a wonderful job of allowing you to edit on the fly, allowing you to add different kind of filters on top of your picture, and I love that. So, all in all, who's this phone for? If you're looking for the next and greatest iPhone X, then this is obviously for you. If you're an Android user and you've been looking for a reason to switch, I think that the iPhone X might just do it for you. I think that it's introduced new radical design, something that Android users are used to and look for in future iterations of their phones. I think that if you take a lot of video, this phone is definitely for you. If you take a lot of photos, I think this phone is definitely in the running as well. Size-wise, I think that this hits the sweet spot for a lot of people. I could recommend it. I've really enjoyed using it. I'm going to keep having the iPhone X in my arsenal of phones. Like I've told you guys before, I rock what I think is the best Android phone at the time. Obviously, the best iPhone at the time as well. There's only one really any particular time during the year. So that's what I'll keep doing it, guys. So let me know in the comment section below what you think of the iPhone X. Have you used it? Have you not? Have you waited? Are you going to keep waiting for the next version of iPhone X, X2, whatever they want to call it? Let us know in the comment section below. hit that like button and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much for your patience, and I appreciate every single one of your views. More importantly, like always, stay geeky, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace, salute, adios.